Good morning, everyone. My name is Ellie Ransom. The words of the chalice lighting this morning are by Jay Wolin. As I speak, I will light my chalice, and if you have a chalice in your home, I encourage you to light it now. Are we a people of holding on or of letting go? Holding on to rigid ideas or letting go and opening our minds and our hearts to something new? Holding on to certainty of how things should be, or letting go and living with the uncertainty of new ways of being in the world? Holding on to what makes us comfortable, or letting go so we may grow, which can be uncomfortable? Holding on to what makes us safe, or letting go to make room to help others feel safe? With this flame, this symbol of our religion, let it be a symbol of the burning up the ties that hold us back from being true, being our true self and reaching our true potential. Let it be a symbol of lighting a new way for us into a better tomorrow. And let it be a symbol of letting go, because holding on too long and too tightly is never good for the soul. I'm a planner. That's how I've always been. I keep track of all my thoughts and ideas, and I plan everything. I seek comfort in having a perfectly clear idea of how my life will go. From big things like my career plans and what I want my future family to look like, to little, everyday things, like wanting to know exactly what an afternoon will entail before I say yes to it. So, as someone who thrives on organization and planning and stresses out when things aren't set up the right way, this pandemic was shocking, scary, hard, weird. I was in Nashville, Tennessee on spring break when I got an email from my college announcing that we weren't going back. And immediately, a million questions popped into my head. Like, what about my exam that's supposed to be on Tuesday? What about all my clothes that are still in my dorm? What if we don't go back at all and I don't see my friends again for another 6 months at least? From that day on, my world became filled with the unknown. It became filled with what I'm terrified of. So when all my plans suddenly came to a halt, I felt like a part of me was taken away. And I started to feel sorry for myself. Because since I was a kid, people had always told me that college, oh, those are the best 4 years of your life. So now that I'm not going to get the 4 years that I'd always planned for, I felt sad and upset and angry. But after a little while, I realized that I can't just stay sad and upset and angry. I had to move on from that. Now, we all feel feelings and emotions like these at one point or another. Particularly in this current social climate, feelings like sadness and anger and fear weigh on us every single day. But while we sometimes may feel inclined to, we cannot stay immersed in these negative emotions forever because it keeps us stuck. It pauses everything else in our life while we just stay stuck in feeling upset. Just like being in quarantine, sometimes that feels like it is keeping us stuck because it paused our plans. It paused the life that we wanted to be living. But what we need to do is figure out how to get unstuck, how to take this moment, whatever it entails, and roll with it. So this pandemic forced me to ask, how can we be content in the unknown? It forced me to think of things in a completely new way, to realize that not everything is guaranteed. These 4 years of college, they were never a given. Every second that we are on this earth, it's not guaranteed. Back in middle school, there were posters on the wall that said, yesterday is history, tomorrow's a mystery, and today is a gift. That's why they call it the present. Now, I always thought that was a cute saying, but never really reflected on it more. But now, in this world of uncertainty and confusion, I understand it. You can never plan your whole life because you never know what's going to happen. Yesterday, it's history, that's all known. We can't dwell on that forever. We need to understand it. We need to learn from it. But then we need to shift our focus. Tomorrow, that's what all our plans are about. And to a point, of course, assuming that we know what is coming tomorrow is important. We can't live every day like it's the end of the world. But no matter what day it is, tomorrow will always be a mystery. So we can't rely so heavily on tomorrow. Again, we need a shift of focus. And we need to focus on today. The present, the gift that is this moment. Because just as tomorrow isn't guaranteed, even this moment was never guaranteed either. The fact that you are alive, healthy, and sitting here with us today is a miracle. Scientists estimate the probability of your being born is about 1 in 400 trillion. Let me say that again. The probability of you being alive and here is 1 in 400 trillion. I can't even begin to fathom that number, 400 trillion. So yes, you are a miracle. No matter what is going on in your life, the fact of the matter is that this moment is a miracle. So let's just give thanks for this moment. Before we talk about anything else, let's just say thank you for the miracle that is this moment. Okay. Now that you've thought about how amazing this moment really is, it's time to decide how you're going to spend it. Because really, that's the only choice you have in this world. Just as you didn't choose to be born, you don't have a choice in what will happen when you're alive. Like this pandemic and all the other times in your life where something has come up and paused or ruined your plans. All that unknown, you can't control it. So, A, you need to figure out how to be content in that unknown. And B, now all you're left with are these moments. All these moments, that's life. That's all you have. So the choice you need to make is how you're going to spend them. And of course, you can spend your moments feeling sorry for yourself or planning every detail of your future that may never be. Or you can choose to live in the moment, to be present. Now, there are a few ways to go about this. One way is to challenge yourself, to push yourself, to question, what is it you really want? And go for it today, instead of pushing it off to a tomorrow that may never be. Or maybe you need some calm in your life. Choosing to live in the moment can also mean to just breathe. Become aware of the stillness in your life and just be content in the moment. Be grateful for this moment. So think to yourself today, how can you do this? How can you live in the moment? How can you quit planning, quit feeling stuck in your situation? And how can you live a better today? If you're feeling that yearning for action, perhaps is there something you've always wanted to learn but kept putting it off? A book you always wanted to read but never had time for? A person you wanted to reach out to, but you were afraid of what they would say back? Maybe you're holding on to a huge sorrow in your heart that weighs you down. How can you begin to let that go today? Or a fire of anger or regret that keeps you from enjoying what you have now? How can you begin to forgive that today? Or a problem that you see in this world, how can you begin to work to bring real change today? To get unstuck from your emotions and really do something today. Or if your yearning is for that stillness, how can you put your mind at ease for a little while today? A meditation, some yoga, just a few deep breaths. Don't worry about what the people around you are doing, but think to yourself, what is it that you need? And do whatever it is you need so that you yourself can be content in the unknown. And in doing that, don't be afraid to ask for help. You are not alone. We are all in this unknown together. Sharon Salzberg, a teacher of Buddhist practices who realized the power of meditation to overcome personal suffering, she said, mindfulness isn't difficult. We just need to remember to do it. So as you go off into your day after worship this morning, I encourage you to remember to be mindful. To be mindful of the miracle that you are living. To be mindful that as great as planning is, the only real control you have in this world is what you will do with this moment. Thank you. It is now time for our prayer, and our prayer this morning is by Elizabeth Buki. Spirit of life, love which holds us, we gather in reverence and thanks for you. We are grateful for the gift of another breath, and for each moment of connection, beauty, and truth. Cry with us in our pain for our world. Remind us that we are loved just as we are. Remind us that we are connected with all that is. Remind us that we do not journey alone. Give us what we need for today. Call us back to our promises, commitments, and values. Help us love ourselves and each other, and to show that love in our actions. Make us instruments of justice, equity, and compassion. Free us from all that is evil. We declare that life and love are stronger than tyranny and fear, that a world of beauty and love is coming, and we must shape it together. May it be so. Amen.
And listen, please, now to the benediction. Go out into the world in peace. Have courage. Hold on to what is good. Return to no person evil for evil. Strengthen the faint-hearted. Support the weak. Help the suffering. And honor all persons. It is finished in beauty. Return often to let your cup be refilled. And as we extinguish our chalices, we remember that the flame of hope, truth, and love goes with us.